If trading is breaking you right now, this video might save you years of pain. I blew accounts, wanted to quit more times than I can count. And the mistake I kept making is probably the same one you're making right now. Don't skip this. You're closer than you think. I remember the moment I almost walked away from trading for good. And I'm not here to tell you I have some secret formula or magic strategy you've never heard before. I'm here because the exact place you're stuck in right now. I've been there. So if you're thinking about quitting, or you already gave up recently, this story might change how you see trading. Because when you really commit to it, trading can completely change your life. Back in 2022, I quit trading for the first time. I had spent almost 4 years grinding the markets with absolutely nothing to show for it. No progress. No consistency. Definitely not the life I imagined. Trading was supposed to be my way out. My escape plan. I used to trade at my desk during my day job. And honestly, I was either losing money or just barely breaking even. I'd find a new strategy, trade it for a few months, hit a rough patch, then throw it away and start from zero again. Over and over. Eventually, I burned out. The cycle exhausted me. So I stepped away and focused on my career instead. At least there, I had a steady paycheck. But I couldn't stay away for long. The truth was, I didn't want anyone telling me what to do. And I definitely didn't want someone else deciding how much money I was allowed to make. I wanted a life on my own terms. Every time I funded a trading account back then, it was basically all my savings. My entire liquid net worth. And within weeks, I'd blow it up. Again and again. I told myself it was the strategy. I blamed bad luck. But deep down, I knew the real problem was me. I was impatient. Undisciplined. And I had zero emotional control. That's why I kept breaking rules, overleveraging, and overtrading. If you're a trader, that probably sounds familiar. I wasn't trading to trade well. I was trading to escape my situation. After funding what felt like my 10th account and losing 60% of it in just 2 weeks, I hit a breaking point. I was completely drained. I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. I pulled the money out and stepped back. But even then, I knew something. I knew that on the other side of all this struggle, there was a life people only dream about. And even without results, I kept pushing forward. I kept grinding. Still, success felt so far away. The bad habits I built over those 4 years never really left me. They kept coming back to haunt me. I was chasing the end goal, not the process. And the crazy part is, I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. I just couldn't stay disciplined long enough to avoid my biggest mistakes. Somewhere in my mind, I thought if I just kept going, eventually I'd get lucky. But it didn't take long before I hit the wall again. Trading didn't feel exciting anymore. I fell out of love with the markets, again. And there I was, back to working, stuck in the rat race. This phase forces you to meet the version of yourself you've been avoiding. The version that wants shortcuts. The version that just wants that quick dopamine hit. You want instant results. In trading, you can't hide from yourself. You can lie to yourself. You can distract yourself with noise. But the moment you sit in front of the charts, there's nowhere to hide. And honestly, that took me years to truly understand. Your emotional state is the lens you see price through. When you're scared, every move looks like a trap. When you're greedy, every candle looks like a perfect setup. When you're frustrated, everything feels like a chance to make it back, and that's when revenge trading kicks in. And when you're overconfident, that's when the market humbles you in public. Some days you wake up disciplined. Other days you wake up feeling like, today's the day I ruined my life. And without a routine, without emotional awareness, your trading just becomes a reflection of whatever mood you're in that day. It's not a strategy problem. And it's definitely not an indicator problem. It's an execution problem. Have you ever noticed how the same setup works perfectly on a calm day, but completely fails on days you're anxious? The market didn't change. You did. This is the most exhausting part of the journey. That's when the harsh reality hit me. For years, I was trying to flip a small account into a big one. And eventually, I realized something. I didn't need bigger trades, I needed more capital. But that capital fell out of reach. As my life and career grew, so did my responsibilities. After each paycheck, there wasn't much left. At least not enough to make a real difference in my trading progress. So slowly, I slipped back into the same bad habits that had followed me my entire trading career: overtrading, overleveraging, and revenge trading, all because I wanted to escape my job faster. The harder I pushed, the more I lost. And the further I moved away from my goal of becoming a full-time trader. Now you might be asking, how did I even survive all of this? That brings us to the next part of the story. 4 years in the markets. 4 years of getting absolutely destroyed. And 4 years I could confidently list on my resume as a failed trader. The odds felt completely stacked against me. I'd have great runs, followed by massive blow-ups. The boom and bust cycle became normal. Whenever I felt motivated, my good habits produced results. But after a few losses, it felt like my whole world was collapsing. You know that feeling. Suddenly, your dreams feel out of reach. So you push harder. And harder. Until both your mental capital and your account are empty. You know what you're supposed to do, right? But you keep doing the opposite. You know you're supposed to wait. You know you're supposed to trust the model. And every time you break your rules, you think, why am I like this? It feels like there are two versions of you. The disciplined one saying, stay calm. Trust the plan. And the emotional gremlin whispering, just click the button. What's the worst that could happen? As if the worst hasn't already happened 50 times. I stayed in that flat, miserable phase way longer than I want to admit. And not because I wasn't learning. I was studying every single day. I was obsessed. But what I didn't realize back then was this. I was trying to build consistent results, without becoming a consistent person. And the moment that clicked, everything changed. The truth is, I wasn't just trading for money. I was trading for freedom. But every time I placed a trade, my fear of failure, and the fear of being stuck in an average life took over my decisions. I couldn't hold my winners, because locking in profit felt good. But my losers? They got way bigger. Because I couldn't accept being wrong. I was so scared of losing that I was literally guaranteeing my own failure. Think about that for a second. The exact thing I was trying to avoid was creating with my own hands. Every revenge trade. Every time I doubled my position to make it back. Every rule I broke. It was all fear just dressed up as ambition. So I made a decision. I told myself, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail doing this the right way. No more excuses. No more blaming the strategy. No more blaming the market. No more blaming bad luck. I committed to one strategy. I followed the rules like my life depended on it. And I gave it a real, honest shot for an entire year. Win or lose, I stuck to the plan. And you know what happened? At first, nothing. My results didn't magically change overnight. But something way more important did. My relationship with the process. I stopped checking my P&L every 5 minutes. I stopped caring about individual trades. I started journaling every single trade. Reviewing mistakes without beating myself up. And actually learning from what the market was showing me. I wish this wasn't true, but almost every successful trader has a rock-bottom story. That moment where things get so bad, you reach a fork in the road. Either you make the changes required to become profitable, or you quit completely. I stopped rushing. I stopped trying to catch every move. I stopped trading out of boredom. I stopped needing validation from the market. Instead, I built a routine. I built discipline. I built patience. And patience was the hardest one because my personality is like. So, are we rich yet? But once the internal version of me matured, the chart changed almost overnight. Setups started to make sense. My biases became clearer. I stopped fighting the market and started working with it. A lot of traders want consistency, but they don't want to do the emotional work that makes consistency possible. They want structure without being structured. Discipline without practicing discipline. Patience, but also their account to double by Friday. Trading is the most brutally honest mirror you'll ever look into. It reflects exactly who you are. And the moment you fix you, the chart opens up. And here's the funny thing about breakthroughs. They don't feel like breakthroughs. There's no dramatic moment. No angels singing. No charts lighting up. It's subtle. One day, you just stop forcing trades. You stop trying to be right. You stop caring about impressing anyone with your wins. And for me, that was everything. Losses don't hit the same anymore. Wins don't inflate your ego. You become calmer. More stable. More neutral. And once that happens, the setups you used to struggle with suddenly feel obvious. The market didn't change. You did. So if you're struggling right now, if you feel stuck, discouraged, or frustrated, hear this from someone who lived that pain. You're not behind. You're not failing. And you're definitely not broken. You're just in the part of the chart where most people quit. That accumulation phase. And the work you're doing right now, even if it's not showing in your P&L yet, is building the version of you that becomes consistent. So don't walk away before the move. Don't quit before the breakout. Your expansion phase is coming. Stay the course. Keep showing up. And trust that this struggle is shaping the trader you're becoming. And at the end of the day, when you finally catch that big move, you're going to look back at this phase and realize something important. You actually needed every single part of it. Now here's what most traders don't understand. Your strategy means nothing if your psychology is broken. You can have the best system in the world, but if you're trading from desperation, fear, or ego, you're going to lose. Every time. And that was me for a long time. For almost 4 years, I wasn't trading to trade well. I was trading out of desperation to escape my job. What I had to do was reconnect with why I started this journey in the first place. Not to make fast money. Not to prove anything to friends or family. But because I genuinely wanted a life where I controlled my time, my income, and my future. Once that became my North Star, everything else started to fall into place. Losses didn't hurt the same anymore because I knew they were part of the process. Wins didn't inflate my ego because I knew they were just confirmation I was on the right path. Your why is what keeps you going when you want to quit. It's what keeps you disciplined when revenge trading feels tempting. And it's what reminds you that this is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't throw away everything you've already invested. Let me ask you something. How many hours have you spent staring at charts? How many courses have you bought? How many strategies have you tested? How much money have you invested in your education, your capital, your setup? Add it all up. Are you really going to walk away now, when you might be closer than you think? Most traders quit right before everything clicks. Years of work. Thousands of dollars. Endless screen time. And they give up just before the breakthrough. Don't let that be you. You've already paid the price of admission. You might as well stay for the show. It took me 4 years before I saw real, consistent results. 4 years. If I had quit in year 3, none of this would exist. I wouldn't be financially free. I wouldn't be here making this video. And everything I have today would have disappeared just because I didn't push one more year. Here's the hard truth. You can walk away right now. You can go back to a normal job, settle into a comfortable routine, and live a decent life. There's no shame in that. But 10 years from now, late at night, you're going to ask yourself, what if? What if I had stuck with it a little longer? What if I had followed my rules? What if I had actually given it everything I had? That regret will hurt more than any trading loss ever could. You can recover money. You can recover time. But the regret of giving up on your dream, that stays. I'm not saying be reckless. I'm not saying risk money you can't afford to lose. But if trading is truly what you want, if freedom is really what you're chasing, then you owe it to yourself to give this an honest shot. Not a half-hearted attempt. Not breaking rules and blaming the market. A real, disciplined commitment. Following your plan long enough to actually give yourself a chance to win. So if you want to turn this around, here's what I recommend. First, write down your why and put it somewhere you'll see every single day. Not something shallow like, I want money. Go deeper. Why do you want freedom? What will it give you? Who are you doing this for? Second, commit to one strategy. Stop jumping from system to system every time you hit a losing streak. Pick something that makes sense to you. Backtest it. Trade it consistently for at least 6 months. Journal everything. Review your mistakes. Treat this like a business, not a lottery ticket. Third, protect your mental capital like it's more valuable than your trading capital. Because it is. You can reload an account. But if you're mentally broken, it's game over. That means taking breaks when you need them. That means no revenge trading. That means surrounding yourself with people who support your journey, not people who tell you to quit. Your mind is your most important trading tool. Take care of it. You already have everything you need to get back in the fight. Write down your why. Put it on your monitor. Remember who you're doing this for. And just focus on being 1% better every single day. If this story gave you the strength to keep going, then it was worth telling.